What made the high school legend become one? Someone spread a rumor that legend had a small PP. He responded by photocopying his Johnson and leaving the pictures on the desks of everyone in the class. He got suspended, but set the rumors straight. Big dick energy for sure. It's pretty stupid, but a friend wore a Walmart hot dog costume, and for some reason everyone thought it was funny, started chanting hot dog kid, and he won the best Halloween costume award of that year. Next year, he wore a penguin costume, and, as he stepped up on stage, he ripped it off to reveal the hot dog costume underneath. Everybody fucking lost it. Sadly, we have a rule that you can't win 2 years in a row, so while he didn't get the prize, we all knew who had the best costume that day. That is how the legend of Hot Dog Kid was born at my high school. His last name was Alcock and he ran for student council. His campaign posters consisted simply of his slogan, "Part man, part machine, Alcock." There was this one sophomore who had a goose for a pet. He lived kinda close, so he could walk to school, and he'd always let his goose walk with him. We all called him Goose, and he was a really nice guy to hang with. Even the teachers liked petting his goose. One time he was at school when one of the teachers who wasn't chill with his pet came out and started yelling at him about the goose, and he got a detention somehow. The next day, the same teacher wasn't in class. We find out at a small assembly at the end of the day that Goose had let his goose run around the classroom last night, and apparently the teacher was still there grading and got a beak to the head. No one messed with him for the rest of school year. Not my story, but my friend's. My buddy went to a military boarding school for high school. Very strict and regimented, with little to no tolerance for misbehavior. Multiple years of this environment must have pushed someone off the deep end, because during my buddy's second year, someone started shitting in urinals. Big sloppy shameless tookies. At least once a month for 3 years, these turds would appear. The culprit became known as the Phantom Shitter, and despite the efforts of a task force specifically assembled to put an end to the nefarious poops, the Phantom Shitter was never captured. This person became a legend at this boarding school because of their stealth, conviction, and utter lack of shame. My buddy kept in touch with one of his instructors over the years and found out years later that a copycat shitter had briefly popped up, but he was discovered and expelled after only a couple tookies. He lacked the finesse of the mysterious original. When I was in the 11th grade, a guy a year older than me, in grade 12, saved a grade 9 girl from being abducted by her estranged father in the school parking lot. Her dad hadn't been in her life for years and had previously tried to take her from her elementary school. This being her first year in high school, I guess he tried again. The 12th grader heard her scream as her dad tried to force her into his car and he ran over and got involved, apparently punching the dad before the dad got back in his car and sped off. Guy was a legit hero at the school. In 9th grade, one of our teachers got sick, so we got a sub. And this kid just starts talking in a strong Spaniard accent, like super well, and convinces the teacher he is from Spain. And he talks this way for 3 months. It was hilarious. And when another kid tried talking as a Spaniard too, he got really upset and accused the other kid of mocking his culture, etc. Then when the year ended we had to do a presentation and our teacher who got sick came. So the kid just nodded through the whole presentation while his group mates talked. It was hilarious. I almost forgot, I have another one. Our AP English teacher went out on maternity leave, and we got a sub who did not give a single shit. We were studying Romeo and Juliet, and she just decided to throw on the 1968 Zeffirelli film version. She just brought out a book and started reading. Well, she didn't think that out too well, because Juliet gets topless in that one. Some little shit said, "Ma'am, I didn't get that scene. Could we rewind it?" She barely looked up. Totally missed the boobs. 5 whole students pulled this, including a girl, before she noticed. Those 5 were gods in the school for a little bit. Had a girl in high school get super drunk at a party, and she shit her pants really badly in front of everyone. Her last name had the word tank in it already, so this legend was pushed to the next level after that night. I don't remember a ton from high school, but I remember the fucking tank. There was this girl Kelly who was very tiny, quiet, and seemingly well-mannered. Very unassuming girl. I don't think anyone knew who she was. Big school. Until she was escorted off campus by the police for stealing the credit card information of 14 students and going on a shopping spree. She disappeared for a year before somehow being allowed back in for her senior year. Instead of being a pariah, this girl somehow became a damn meme. Free Kelly posters would pop up with her mugshot on them. Her name was incorporated into chants used at football games, like she was a weapon that could be used against the opposing team, and she was at the top of everyone's party invite list. So, legend in this case means fucking lunatic. He took the teacher's thermos from the back of the room, not knowing it was hers. He goes to the bathroom with the thermos, comes back with the thermos. She says, "Oh, you found my thermos. Great, thanks. Just put it on my desk." He does, and then walks out of the room wordlessly. She opens the thermos in confusion. He shit in the thermos. Our history teacher was ex-military, and he was absolutely jacked. Like this guy would bike 10 miles every morning to school, kept an ab roller in his classroom, would eat salads and beans for lunch every day, the whole shebang. Anyway, one day he gives our class a pop quiz. Jeff, the strongest biggest guy in my class, goes up to him and asks if I can punch you in the stomach and make you flinch. The entire class gets a 100 on the quiz. My teacher took him up on it. He prepared himself, and Jeff absolutely drills him in the stomach. Our teacher did not flinch. We still had to take the quiz, but Jeff went down in history as the guy who punched a teacher, and the teacher went down in history as a guy you don't wanna fucking mess with. The senior class was gathered in the gym for a pep rally type event, but there weren't any planned events, so we students were getting bored and restless. In an effort to engage us, teachers offered to let kids tell jokes into the microphone. The very first guy that goes to the microphone triumphantly asks, "How deep are we gonna go, men?" And every male in the stands shouted back, "Balls deep." How deep? Balls deep. The call and response quickly ended when the teachers swarmed him and took away the microphone. Jokes were over for the day. Later in the year they hold another senior event in the gym, but instead of jokes they let kids sing karaoke. Fun. Until the microphone goes missing between songs. Everyone is seated in the stands when that same guy stands up just laughing his ass off because someone handed him the microphone. The teachers say, "Don't," and he just keeps laughing. He manages to ask a single question into the microphone. How deep? For the first time I understood school pride as 900 students. Even the girls joined in shouting, "Balls deep." Legend. Someone installed games onto the school's server. There were a bunch of N64 emulators, Peggle, and some other games. But then there were also LAN games that could be played against anyone/everyone in the school, including Counter-Strike and Halo. Sometimes you'd go on and there'd be no one. Other times there'd be 10v10 fights in Blood Gulch. It lasted at least 10 years, but don't know if it has been taken down since. I was on one of those televised quiz shows on a local small market station. The host was this bearded guy who would sport a cowboy hat and a suede jacket with the leather patches. Pure class. The question was, the state of Kentucky was recently overtaken by Nevada as the national leader of this dubious habit. No one buzzed, so at the last second I went in and said, "Interfamily relationships, like incest." The host just turned bright red and was like, "No." I got yelled about it a little bit off stage, but when I got back to school I was a made man. And hey, people watch public TV. We had a teacher who was infamous for not letting you go to the bathroom no matter what. I mean so much, so that if you accidentally started your period in class, she'd make you wait. This happened. So there was a girl who we'll call Katie in class, who tended to be a bit of a troublemaker. Katie hated that teacher because she begged to go to the bathroom and got shut down every time. At the end of the year, Katie asked one more time to go to the bathroom. The teacher said no. Katie asked another time 5 minutes later. The teacher said no again. 5 minutes after that, Katie asked again, but said that the teacher was not going to like what happened if the teacher didn't let her go. The teacher hit the roof and said that if she said one more thing, Katie would be sent to the principal. Katie shrugged and said, "This is on you then," and pissed on her seat, right where she was. The teacher sent her to the principal, who called her parents, one of which was a urologist. Her father yelled at the principal. The teacher ended up in deep shit. According to other kids, she never denied another kid the bathroom again. Katie was a fucking legend. 2 students got suspended my senior year for constructing a gin still in their lockers. It was discovered before the first batch was created, but they got chemistry scholarships out of it. Year 10, head boy has to be picked, England. And it's picked by vote. It's a year group of about 150 students. So we had the obvious popular, well liked by everyone kids. We had the popular lads, the football captain and the sophisticated, obvious choice. Me and my little posse of in-betweeners. I suggest fuck that. We pick one guy from the Forgotten Kids Club. Let's call him Carl. This guy has pretty below average grades, not a lick of athletic ability and his social abilities. Well, he's part of a group of kids that stays behind and spends lunch in the teacher's class because he got bullied so bad on the schoolyard. Carl found himself named head boy to his absolute shock due to the minority being united and the knobheads all split and vying for position. He was a good dude as well, really committed himself to it. His grades improved, he became a better speaker, the lad glowed up considerably, and by the end of year 11 we had a whole army of people carrying him down the street for the final end of Exam celebration. We would just sing his praises despite not knowing him that well, and it just caught on. Dick move, I know, but we did genuinely like him and thought it would be good for him. I like to take credit for suggesting the whole movement, but really it was just a testament to how one downtrodden dude can rise to the occasion and become an absolute fucking ambassador for an entire school. He won over everyone. Dude was impossible to hate. When I was a junior in high school, the wrestling team would hang out in the bathroom at lunch and pack lips in the stalls. There was a kid who was probably on the spectrum who'd also hang in the bathroom every day and eat his lunch there, so we befriended him and tried to give him some banter. I went to a midnight screening of Superbad, and the first time McLovin came on the screen I was like, my god, that looks just like a slightly skinnier version of Stall Kid. So the next day at school I saw him in the hall, and during our usual daps I was like, yo, it's McLovin. That caught on, and for the rest of his time in high school everyone called him McLovin. He liked it. Then he was voted prom king as a senior. Hope you're well, McLovin. Thanks for watching the video. For more content like this, please subscribe, like, and share the video and push the notification button.